Hello, my friends. It is so good to have you here with me today. Pull up a chair, find a comfortable spot, and let's just take a breath together before we dive in. Today, we are going to travel back in time. We are going to discover the story behind a day that millions of people celebrate every year. A day of love, a day of roses and chocolates, a day of messages and hearts. Yes, my friends, we are going to explore the history of Valentine's Day. But this story is not what you might expect. It is not just about romance. It is about courage, mystery, and how one man's actions changed the world forever. So, take a deep breath, relax, and let this story carry you away. And if you enjoy this journey, stay with me until the end. I have something special to share with you. Our story begins almost 2,000 years ago in the city of Rome. Rome was the most powerful city in the world at that time. It had grand buildings, busy streets, and thousands of soldiers. The Roman Empire was everywhere. It controlled land from Britain to Africa, from Spain to the Middle East. But Rome was not always a place of peace. There were wars, there were enemies, and the emperor needed strong soldiers to protect his empire. The emperor at that time was a man named Claudius II. He was a strict ruler. He believed that soldiers must be completely loyal to Rome. He believed that soldiers must not have any distractions. And Claudius had a strange idea. He thought that married men did not make good soldiers. He thought that a man in love would think about his wife, not about the battle. So, Claudius made a decision. He created a new law. Young men could not get married. They could not fall in love and start families. They had to stay single and join the army. Can you imagine that? A law against love? Many young people were heartbroken. They wanted to build lives together, but the law said no. And this is where our story really begins, because not everyone agreed with this law. In the city of Rome, there lived a man named Valentine. Valentine was a Christian priest. He was a kind man, a gentle man, a man who believed deeply in love. He believed that love was a gift from God. He believed that marriage was sacred and beautiful. And when he heard about the emperor's new law, his heart was heavy. He saw young couples who wanted to marry, but they could not. He saw sadness in their eyes. He heard their prayers. And Valentine made a choice. He decided to help them. Secretly, quietly, Valentine began to perform marriages. Late at night, in hidden places, he brought couples together. He spoke blessings over them. He joined their hands in marriage. He gave them hope when the law said there was none. Word spread slowly through the city. People whispered about the kind priest who married couples in secret, and more young lovers came to him. But Valentine knew the danger. He knew that if the emperor found out, there would be punishment. Still, he continued. He believed that love was more important than fear. And for a time, everything seemed safe. But secrets, my friends, do not stay secret forever. One day, someone told the authorities about Valentine. Maybe it was a jealous neighbor. Maybe it was a soldier who wanted a reward. We do not know exactly who it was, but the news reached the emperor. Claudius was furious. He had made a law, and this priest had broken it. Valentine was arrested. Soldiers came to his home and took him away. He was thrown into prison. The prison was dark and cold. There were no windows, no sunlight. But even in that terrible place, Valentine did not lose his faith. He prayed. He remembered the couples he had helped. He thought about love and courage. And something surprising happened while he was in prison. The jailer had a daughter. Her name is often said to be Julia. Julia was blind. She could not see the world around her. Her father loved her very much, but he was sad because there was no cure for her blindness. When the jailer learned that Valentine was a priest, he asked him to pray for Julia. Valentine agreed. He spent time with her. He told her stories. He prayed with her. And according to the legend, a miracle happened. Julia's sight was restored. She could see again. Her father was amazed. He was grateful. And Julia and Valentine became friends. But even this kindness could not save Valentine from his fate. The emperor ordered that Valentine be executed. He would be put to death for breaking the law. Valentine knew his time was short, but he did not spend his final days in anger or fear. Instead, he spent them in love. The night before his execution, Valentine wrote a letter. He wrote it to Julia, the jailer's daughter. He thanked her for her friendship. He encouraged her to stay close to God. He told her to keep her faith strong. And at the end of the letter, he signed it with words that would echo through history. He wrote, "From your Valentine." Those simple words, my friends, became the beginning of a tradition that continues today. On February 14th, in the year 270 AD, Valentine was executed. He died because he chose love over fear. He died because he believed in something bigger than himself. The Christian Church remembered him. They honored his courage. They called him Saint Valentine. And over time, his story spread across Europe and beyond. People remembered the priest who married couples in secret. They remembered his final letter. And slowly, February 14th became a day to celebrate love. For many centuries, Valentine's story was told in churches and communities. But Valentine's Day, as we know it today, did not appear immediately. It grew slowly, step by step, across hundreds of years. In the Middle Ages, people in Europe began to believe that February 14th was the day when birds started to choose their mates. They thought it was the beginning of spring, the season of new life and love. Poets wrote about it. Lovers exchanged handwritten notes. In England and France, young men and women drew names to see who would be their Valentine for the year. It was a game, but it was also romantic. Then, in the 1500s, printing became more common. People began to create special cards for Valentine's Day. These cards had pictures of hearts, flowers, and birds. They had short poems inside. Giving a Valentine's card became a tradition, and when people moved to America, they brought this tradition with them. By the 1800s, Valentine's Day was celebrated across the United States. Factories began to make Valentine's cards in large numbers. Chocolates and roses became popular gifts, and the holiday grew bigger and bigger. Today, millions of people celebrate Valentine's Day all over the world. but most of them do not know the story of the man behind it. So, my friends, what is the real meaning of Valentine's Day? Yes, it is a day to celebrate romantic love. It is a day for couples to show affection. But the true story is about something deeper. It is about courage. Valentine was not a soldier, but he fought in his own way. He stood up against injustice. He risked his life to help others. He believed that love was worth protecting. And that message is still powerful today. Love is not just about romance. Love is kindness. Love is sacrifice. Love is standing beside someone when times are hard. Love is choosing to do the right thing even when it is difficult. Valentine showed us that love can be stronger than fear, and his memory reminds us that one person's courage can inspire millions. February 14th is not just about chocolates and flowers. It is about remembering a man who believed in love so much that he gave his life for it. It is about celebrating all kinds of love. Love between partners, love between friends, love between family members. It is about recognizing the beauty and power of human connection. And now, my friends, we come to the end of our journey today. We have traveled back to ancient Rome. We have walked with Valentine through his courage and sacrifice. We have seen how one man's actions became a celebration that touches the whole world. So, what can we learn from this story? I think the lesson is simple but profound. Love is always worth fighting for. Kindness is always worth the risk. And when we act with courage and compassion, we create ripples that can last for centuries. As you continue your own journey, remember this: learning English is also an act of love. You are loving yourself by growing. You are opening doors to new friendships, new opportunities, new stories.